Hey, good afternoon, everybody. I'm Jeff Tracy, and welcome to Grilling at the Green, the last day of the Standard Portland Classic. 55 years in the making as of today, and wonderful tournament, wonderful course here at Columbia Edgewater. We'd like to thank the partnership of the Standard Insurance Company and the Portland Classic. That partnership underscores the Standard's dedication to supporting women's sports along with elevating the tournament's impact on the Portland community. We'll have some numbers for you later, I think, but their Play It Forward Birdie Challenge, their goal was about $40,000, and what that came from was $500 from each birdie on the eighth hole. So I don't have a current tally. Maybe Kerry does here. We'll talk to that, but it's kind of a closely guarded secret. Anyway, my first guess is Kerry Timchuk. If you've been around Oregon for a couple of weeks, he's had a really great career here, from politics to now he's this executive director. And are you CEO also?
Of the Oregon Historical Society.
Of the Oregon Historical Society. He's also a board member of Tournament Golf Foundation and the Oregon Golf Association. Probably a few more in there that I've overlooked. But.
Just a few more, but Oregon is a passion of mine and golf is a passion of mine. And what a way to unite them than through the Tournament Golf Foundation, which puts on this tournament, has put it on for 55 years now. Yeah. The longest running event on the LPGA Tour outside of the U.S. Open.
Yeah, it's incredible. And we would invite you all to come. A little late this year, but for next year, put it on your calendar. It's a great 4 days here at Columbia Edgewater like that.
And great for families. We have a youth fun zone where they're hitting golf balls and having a great time. It's a family activity that you just can't beat.
Yeah, absolutely. So Kerry, I was told by a little bird, that's an inside joke here, that you are also the resident historian for Tournament Golf Foundation and this tournament.
Well, a little bit, because given my background and my job at the Oregon Historical Society, yes, keeping track of the great history of this. And what a history, as I said, 55 years, longest running event on the tour outside the U.S. Open, and the champions that have won here. It's a who's who. It's a Mount Rushmore of women's golf.
Excuse me. We had Nancy Lopez on a couple of days ago.
Could she be more delightful?
Oh, she's
so down to earth, and she comes every year, and we get some time with her, and she's so giving of her time to talk to young golfers, to talk to the media, to promote women's golf. She just could not be a nicer, more decent, more genuine person.
And if you walk down the hallway here, there's a lovely display of historical artifacts, if you will, from this tournament and Columbia Edgewater. And Nancy's picture is there. I think one of her golf bags is in there. There's a lot of good stuff in there. So if you get a chance to see that also. But one thing I like about this tournament, Kerry, and I'd like to get your thoughts on it, is it melds the founders, the champions, like you said, that should be on Mount Rushmore of women's golf, and the current young players together. That's one of the great things about this tournament.
Absolutely. You've got the longtime pros, the ones who are atop the leaderboard every week. And we try to promote this as a tournament for the young players just coming up.
Yeah.
Maybe coming up from the kind of the minor league tours that they have on. And we've had a lot of first-time winners here, which is always exciting.
Yes.
To get their first win on the LPGA Tour here in Portland. It brings them back again and again. A program with Julie Inkster, the great pro who's won here, where we every year they give a Julie Inkster award to a young college player, and we give that player an automatic exemption here to play in this tournament. They're often their first time playing alongside the pros on the tour.
Well, and TGF is generous with their exemptions. You had
we sponsor the Oregon AM, Les Schwab sponsors.
Yes,
and it's a tournament for amateurs, college golfers, sometimes even high school golfers, and the winner again gets an exemption, gets a bid into the tournament.
Right.
And again, often the very first time that they've ever played inside the ropes on the LPGA Tour.
You can tell. I watched a couple of them. They did fine. They're not on top of the leaderboard here, but they did fine. But you could also tell that there was a little, if you will, maybe I don't want to use this term too much, but a little shock and awe on them because it's a different world.
It's like going from the minor league baseball to the major league.
The majors,
big difference, big audience, more pressure, more money, of course.
Yeah.
It's a big difference. This year's Julie Inkster Award winner was Megan Kahn, and I just was out in the course. She's 14 under, I think, and kind of in the mix.
She's in the mix. One of the things I talked to Mark Gans about this, and also Nancy brought this up, is the purse. $2 million is a solid purse, but they I'm pretty sure all tournaments would like to see their purse increased because you get more attention if your purse is increased.
You get more attention. You get more of the top players. We've already got a commitment that the purse is going to go up.
Is it
next year?
Excellent.
And we'll keep going up, I think.
Can you share a little more than that?
Just I'll leave it up for that to be announced later.
Okay.
But the Standard has just been such a great partner, and they've really embraced this tournament and their support of women's golf and women's sports. And I think there's great things coming.
Kerry, some people watch this show. Some of them have texted me and they say, great shows and that, but you do talk to a lot of sponsors. It's important because that's who pays the bills.
Oh, absolutely. You couldn't have. We were told a year and a half ago. It was the Safeway Classic, of course, for many years, long time. Folks will remember that. Then it was the Cambia Classic, and Cambia is still a great sponsor, but not at the name sponsor level. And we went for a year or two without a name sponsor, and that affects the purse. And the LPGA, we were the only tournament on the LPGA,
tour
calendar that did that. So, and we were told that we had to get a name sponsor, or that we were in danger of
losing it. Yeah.
And the Standard stepped up, and boy, they've been a great part and we owe them a real debt of thanks for keeping the tournament going and here in Portland.
Yeah, Amy's going to be our last guest from the live shows this weekend. She's going to be back on. We did a standalone with her, which is out there in the ether, but they're going to get to listen to her live today, and we'll get a report from the boss.
Okay.
How's that?
Don't tell her I said anything.
Okay, I won't. Your involvement in golf, not just through OGA and this and that, but your personal involvement and your addiction to golf. When did that start?
I grew up in a little town called Reedsport, Oregon, on the Oregon coast. And when I was 8 or 9, they built a little 9-hole course in Reedsport called Forest Hills Country Club. And I grew up on that course. That's where I got my first got my addiction to golf. And my wife would tell you it probably is close to an addiction. But and played a little bit in high school, and then was in Washington, D.C. for many years. But when I returned to Oregon, then really had more time to play and get involved, and introduce my son to the game. And now that's an activity we do together. And I'm lucky enough to belong to Portland Golf Club, which is a beautiful historic club, of course, here in the Portland area. And it's on days like this, what a better thing to do.
Was it refreshing to get away from politics and not only do the Oregon Historical Society, but really be able to commit more time to things like
absolutely
tournament golf?
Working in Washington, D.C. for 11 years, it's a town where you work around the clock. I did have time for golf and was fortunate enough to play some nice courses back there. And then for 12 years, I was the chief of staff here in Oregon, the U.S. Senator Gordon Smith, who Gordon also loved golf, and that was his escape. So I got some golf in with him as well. It's got to be, to get outdoors, to challenge yourself. It takes your mind away from the petty bickerings of DC going on in politics.
Yeah, it's got to, because if you're going to take golf seriously, from my perspective, if you're going to take golf at any level seriously, you've got to kind of put everything out of your mind.
Absolutely, and it takes time. That's I guess the downside of golf sometimes is that 9 holes, 18 holes. It takes time.
It takes a little time.
But what better way to spend the day?
Where do you see the Standard Portland Classic? I'll say the proper name here. Or where would you like to see it in 3 years, 5 years, etc.?
Just continuing to grow, continuing to bring the top pros out here with a major league purse, and to get more Oregonians out here enjoying it, and Washingtonians, because we're just right here in the border, of course. But to get more people, it's the only professional golf tournament on the West in Pacific Northwest.
Yeah.
I don't think we'll get the PGA Tour, but the LPGA Tour and it's the world's best. You look at the leaderboard, of course, and you see every country represented.
Yeah. Oh, we have to take a quick pause for the Blue Angels here.
part of being here in Portland, so close to the airport. But boy, do you have a view here in your outdoor studio,
Yes.
overlooking the 18th hole here.
It's perfect.
You can't beat this view on a sunny day like this.
Oh, it's absolutely perfect. If you don't know, folks, there's an air show going down in a town called McMinnville, south of here. It's kind of southwest of Portland from where we are. But the National Guard Air Base and stuff it's about 2 miles from
Just if that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's like that. One of the emphasis here of the standard, like you were talking about the kids tournament that they have on Saturday, very well attended. It's kind of a kids day. They've got some stuff from a company that I work with on the first tee, but Birdie Ball, they've got those big inflatables and all that. How important is it? And we talk about it all the time, but I always like to get people's perspective, Kerry. How important is it to kind of get them involved early? Because I've talked to a lot of people, as I'm sure you have, that over the years say, I'm infatuated with this game. I love this game. I wish I would have done it when I was a kid.
Yeah, introducing kids to golf is just, so important for the future of golf, and such a great activity for kids. Golf teaches you such important things.
Lessons,
It teaches you individual responsibility, because mostly you're competing for yourself,
right,
as opposed to teams. But team golf is also important. It teaches you honesty and ethics. That you have to be the one to call a penalty on yourself. You have to be the one to report your true score. It teaches so much courtesy. Kind of the golf etiquette.
Yeah,
teaches you that as well, which is important, not just inside the golf course, but outside the golf course. There's just so many values that a young person can learn from golf.
Well, and so much time is spent. I don't know where I put it, but I've got this. So much. They spend so much time on the
computer screen.
Yeah,
and this is you. There is no computer screen out here on the golf course.
No,
you need to put your phone away in your golf bag and not have it looking at it, and concentrate on your game and the beauty of the course and your fellow players.
It's wonderful. Real quick, tell us about what's happening at the Oregon Historical Society. Now, it's not about golf, but it's a big deal here in Oregon.
Well, great museum, research library in downtown Portland, in the art district right across from the art museum. We have permanent exhibits up about the history of Oregon. We have a great new permanent exhibit on the history of Portland called Rivers, Roses, and Rip City. You can guess where the Rip City came from.
Yeah.
And the temporary exhibits up now. This is the centennial of Highway 101.
Is it really?
Oregon's iconic coastal highway. We have a great exhibit exploring the building and the history of that, and an exhibit on the Yasui family, this Japanese-American family that was in Hood River, farmers, and went through what all Japanese-American families unfortunately had to go through after Pearl Harbor, which was removal from their land and internment and camps. And it's, as I say at the Historical Society, we're not the Chamber of Commerce, we're not the Tourism Bureau. They're important and they have to do their job. Our job as a historical society is to tell the true history of Oregon, the good, the bad, and the ugly in some instances.
Yeah.
Because if we don't tell it, we might repeat it.
There's a lot of things we do not want to repeat here.
So
that's it. Kerry Timchuk, thank you, my friend.
Pleasure. Thank you very much.
Nice to see you, and keep up the good work on everything. This guy is busy. He's like really, really busy.
And coming soon to the museum, this year is the 150th anniversary of the University of Oregon.
Oh, now I'm a Beaver guy.
We did a 150th anniversary of the Beavers too, of Oregon State a couple of years back.
So we were first.
You were the land grant institution. The Beavers were first.
Okay, so that makes me feel better. Kerry, thank you.
I've got a daughter who was a duck and a son who was a beaver. And I was a Willamette Bearcat. So
it's all good. Very good.
Thank you
very much. We've got Caroline Inglis coming up.
Go Caroline.
Who kind of took a pause from the tour and then came back and made a debut again at Portland here. How's that? And now she works with the OGA people too. So Caroline's going to come in and take Kerry's seat as I
kind of her boss now.
Oh, yeah, I guess you are. Yeah. Be nice to the boss. Always. While they're switching seats here, I'm going to talk to you about Weston Kia, one of our sponsors. If you're ready for a new ride and you want to choose from 1,000 vehicles at Weston Kia, like Sportage, Soul, Fortes, Telluride, Carnival, They've got gas, electric, and hybrid. They are the Oregon's all-time leader in Kia sales, and that goes from 94 to 26 right there. Everybody wins at Weston's. Go to buyweston.com, and also our friends at Snell Golf. I think I've got a Snell Golf hat on today. Tour level consistency of the new PR3 and PR4, the premium cast urethane of the MTB Black Limited. Every Snell ball is designed and refined. Construction, tighter tolerances, and proven materials. Go to snellgolf.com. Hello, my friend.
Hello.
How are you? Let me fix your microphone.
Oh, yes. Is it too low?
There you go.
Okay.
There you go.
How are you?
You know, you're taller than Kerry.
Poor Kerry.
What a great guy.
Call him out. He's the best. He is technically my boss, so we got to be nice to him.
You got to be nice to him.
He's the board member of the OGA. So
Okay.
we love Kerry. He's awesome.
So how was it getting back out there with all the girls?
It was great. It was fun. It was kind of last minute. I found out I was in on Monday, so I hadn't practiced very much and just wanted to go out and have fun. And it's my home course, so I figured I might as well go
Give it a
try. No, I shot 69 the second day. I'm like, not bad for an old retired lady.
Let's listen to this.
It's really not bad.
No, that's not bad. That's the old retired
rusty.
lady part that I was laughing at.
I mean, I've retired 8-9 months. So
Yeah.
no, it was definitely good to get the competitive juices flowing again. And I had my husband on the bag, so I really enjoyed it.
Do you ever think about coming back full time?
Full time, probably not. Again, I don't think I retired mostly because my back is pretty bad. I don't think it could take it full time again, but I would love to play 4 or 5 events a year. That would be super fun. Just got to work that into work somehow.
Work that into work, like that. What do from the inside?
Yeah.
What do the ladies on the tour, how do they feel about coming to Portland? I mean, we give great opportunities, sponsor exempts, that type of thing, but we see a lot of the same players here year after year, and that's a good thing. That must tell me that they like it for some reason. What do they tell you?
I think so. I think that there's a few different things. So I think Pacific Northwest golf is different than a lot of the golf we play. So I think people like it, that it's the lush green grass, Poana greens, and pretty narrow tree lined. So I think players that are straighter off the tee and more consistent, I think they like that. It's not just a bomber's course. And then I think that the standard and Lynn and Monica, the tournament directors, do such a good job of making it feel like a local tournament. You see all these local sponsors, local food vendors. I think the players love that. Like, they've got the food carts on the range. And then I think Portland, it gets a bad rap as a city, but it's a great city. There's good food, there's sports, there's good culture. The weather's absolutely beautiful. So I think the players love all of those things.
I was talking to Aki the other day, and she said, I was just asking her, through the translator and stuff, I said, what do you think of the food? And she kind of rocked back and she goes, I like hamburger. And I said, yeah, you can tell I like hamburgers too. And she said, In-N-Out. And I said, double, that. Yeah. But she sold on the food.
Yeah, the food's great. I mean, you've got every type of food you could want in Portland.
Yeah. When you decided, and we've talked before, you've been on the show, and we know each other. You talked about, issues with your back. That's very common in especially professional golfers like that, because you strain it all the time and you're really pushing.
Yep.
But looking back, would you have done if you had the opportunity to do it over again, Caroline, would you do the exact same thing in general?
From the beginning?
Yeah.
Like turning pro and?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. 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 No, it was such a great experience. It was a part of my life that I loved and I still miss a lot. I mean, there's no better feeling than being out there in the heat of competition and competing.
Yeah.
It's just such a good feeling. And I got to travel. I got to really just hone my own craft. It was all on me. So I liked that it was, you eat what you kill. You put in the hard work and you're going to get out of it what you put in. It was such a cool job. I loved it. Yeah, I wouldn't change it for a thing. That's why I miss it so much, because it was so fun.
Does your husband appreciate you being home more?
Yes. Oh, definitely. Yeah, he loves it. It has been nice to actually be home and have a weekend and see my family, see my friends. And now I play golf for fun, which is really nice. It's different, but it's really fun. I've been enjoying it.
Now, you didn't know this, but I watched you warm up the other day on the range and hit some balls when we ran into each other.
Oh,
and
yes.
I was just kind of chilling in the tent all by myself watching, and I was watching. What is this?
You got to stretch out the wrists.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you got to get.
Yeah, do that.
You got to get every body part warmed up these days. The ankle, the neck, the wrist. Yeah.
I never seen you do that before.
Yeah.
So I was like, I think I'll ask her about that.
Yeah. Little wrist warm up.
And you were doing stretches and you were doing one-legged stuff and you were doing all that.
Oh yeah.
When you were on tour, did you do that more as a regiment? Like getting up in the morning?
Oh my God, yes. Yeah. Because I was playing, you'd play 4 weeks in a row. And so you're playing every day for 4 weeks. So I had a full-time physio that I worked with, and I would do a dynamic warm-up before and then a little banded warm-up on the range just to make sure that everything's firing before you go swing a golf club one-sided.
Yeah. Mine is always more like hit the food truck and then go.
That's important too,
That's important too.
You got to fuel the body.
I got fuel storage. It's true. But, your friends on the tour, and we talked about them, of course, coming to Portland and enjoying this tournament. Now, in a few weeks, some of them are gonna go across the pond to Solheim.
Oh yes, to the Netherlands.
Yeah.
Yep.
Was that one of your? Did you dream of that? That's a tough hurdle to get to.
I think that's always something in the back of your mind as an American or as a European.
Sure.
That would be the ultimate goal. I think it's just an honor to represent your country. So that was always something I wanted. Didn't quite come close, but I think it's such a cool tournament, and I'm excited to watch.
Maybe they'll bring you over there as an assistant of some sort.
Maybe, probably not, but that'd be cool.
Well, you can always dream, can't you?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Sure, why not? Let's talk about the future of you and OGA and this tournament. Yeah. We're very golf centric around here.
We are,
of course.
We love that.
Yeah, we love that. But how can your job in business development and stuff now, how does that fold into potentially working with tournaments like that and expanding the Oregon Golf Association?
Yeah, so our junior programs, we have a nonprofit. We're the Oregon Junior Golf Fund, and we actually subsidize rounds so that kids can play at any of the 72 participating courses for $5. So we're providing a lot of affordable access to golf, which is getting more kids into golf, introducing them at an early age, because we know that golf is really good for kids' health. It teaches them respect and etiquette and all these things. It's a great thing. And we're helping people who can't afford it. Right. So we've got a lot of important things going on, and I think it's important to start them early. Maybe they'll be on the LPGA someday, maybe they won't, but it's awesome to see all these kids out here. Like we had our junior golfers were the standard bearers this week. It's cool to see them out watching and learning and kind of aspiring and just interacting with all the LPGA players. So I think it's really important, and it's also cool to see the kids the fun zone over on the Mason course. The standard does a great job with promoting junior golf, so it's cool to see it all kind of work together and come full circle.
I'll tell you a quick story. I have a very good friend. He's my next door neighbor. Okay. He's been involved in golf now for maybe 4 months. Okay. He got a job at OGA on the grounds crew. He doesn't need to work, but he's got to be busy. Right? Yeah. And so he bought a set of clubs for $5 in Bend at a yard sale, and he brought them home, and he was so proud. And I just kind of looked at him and I said, "Okay, we got some work to do here." He's here today. This is the first pro tournament he's ever been to, first golf tournament, proper that he's ever been to. And I introduced him to Kay Cockrell because Kay's a friend, and we ran into her and Danny over there, and he's just like. He's like the what do you call moon eyes or something? He just can't
just loving it.
Can't love it. I gave him a camera and I got him a press pass and told him the rules like that. And I asked him if he wanted to come back and watch how we did this show. No, he's out there. He's
Oh,
out
yeah.
there taking pictures. He's not
He's
coming
watching
back.
the golf.
He's
Yeah,
watching the golf. He's not coming back.
You
here.
won't see him again.
Yeah, but that's the effect that this game can
Yes.
have on
Yep.
people.
Absolutely. I think it's such a cool game, and you can improve so quickly. Once people get into it,
Yeah.
they're addicted.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to see people, even later in life, take up the game.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think Dennis is in
Yeah.
his mid-50s, and
That's awesome.
he's in great shape.
Yeah.
You know, and but his jaw kind of dropped when he walked in the clubhouse today.
Yeah.
Well, this is magnificent clubhouse anyway, but he did that, and he was walking by the display with Nancy and Brooke and all those in there, and he came out here, and so I explained the layout like that and gave him his passes, and haven't seen him since.
And you probably won't.
I probably
That's
won't
great.
till about 3:30 today.
Yeah, that's awesome.
He'll come strolling in there. What? Where? Sorry, there's a little gnat
There's a
here.
spider.
Is it a spider?
Yeah, it's right under your hat.
Okay,
we
thank
got
you.
it.
Thank you. I'm not arachnophobic, but
I am.
oh,
I
okay.
don't like
Well, you're
them.
very brave to get that
Well, it was
beast.
just.
That beast.
It's the big ones. I
It's the
don't
big
like,
ones.
yeah.
Okay. What do you see as far as, again, we touched on it just a second ago, but with OGA, is it growing? And with somebody like you, you have big shoes to fill with Monica.
I know. I know.
But you're going to be fine. But how do state golf associations really capitalize to grow the game?
So we do a lot of different things. We have our junior tournaments. We've got like 35 of them, which is great because those kids already play golf and they're competing and they're doing it at an elite level. And then we have our access program, which I touched on, which is growing insanely. I mean, I think we had a 73% increase in rounds subsidized. So that's the main thing I fundraise for. So we can always use help with that. Because we want more kids to get into golf and we want more kids to be social and off their phones and exercising. And then we also provide financial aid, and we do introductory clinics as well. We have our EJ Play Days, and we're starting the national development team for Team Oregon. So we're kind of touching on all these bases. We've got get them into golf, let them play with their friends whenever they want, and they can compete at a high level. So
that's great.
We're touching all the bases. I think it's kind of a matter of just getting the word out there and asking for a little bit of support.
Sure.
But no, the game is growing and it's growing fast, which is awesome to see.
What do you do with old guys like me and Pete?
Well, we've got the regular OGA, Oregon Golf Association. So anyone who has a handicap technically is an OGA member. And we offer a lot of membership benefits and handicapping. We do handicapping course rating. But then you can play in any of our adult championships, senior championships, summer series. There's a lot of opportunities. So we kind of touch it all.
There you go.
We're the home for golf. Whatever you need, that's what we are.
You are the home for golf. What's one of besides the friendship and camaraderie, what's one thing you miss on tour? Jump back to that for a minute.
I do miss the friendship. That is pretty awesome. It was really cool to see all of my old friends and see people catch up with them this week. But I think the thing I miss most is competing. I loved that. It's almost like that addicting feeling, that adrenaline rush. And when you're playing really well on a Sunday in the hunt, it's just the coolest feeling.
Are you a pain to your family when you play golf with them? I mean, are you guys get cutthroat?
We get cutthroat because my husband's really good. He's like a +4 handicap. Okay. And then my brother's he's the head pro at Eugene Country Club, and he's a very good golfer. So we're all just competitive and want to beat each other. Yeah, it gets a little competitive at times, which is fun.
Probably makes for some snappy lunch or dinner talk around the table.
Try and let it go.
Do you?
Yeah, yeah.
Are you successful at that?
Yeah, most of the time.
The boys too?
My brother can get a little bit resentful. I beat him a couple weeks ago, and he was not happy.
Well, I'm the only one in my family that plays golf, so I can tell lies all I want, and nobody cares.
Right. Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, they have no idea.
Carolina, is so nice to see you again.
You too.
Congratulations
Thank you.
on your OGA work and playing again this week. And I would like to see you out there 4 or 5 times a year.
I'm gonna work on that. Let's talk to Rick. We'll make it happen.
Okay.
Okay.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Give him a noogie or something.
Yeah. Thanks, Jeff.
Yeah, you're
Thanks for
welcome.
having me.
He's shorter than I am, so I can do that.
All right, let's work on it.
All right. Thanks, Caroline.
Thank you.
Caroline Inglis, everybody. Our next guest is going to be Barb Trammell. Barb Trammell was the CEO of OGA for many years and also a very highly regarded LPGA rules official and PGA of America rules official, et cetera, et cetera. We're going to have her up in a minute. But first, I want to talk to you about my friends at Birdie Ball. I've told you the quotes from some of the magazines and the review people, but I'll tell you my review. It's great products. I've got a Birdie Ball putting mat in the back, putting green, I should say, in my backyard, and I use the Birdie Balls in my hitting net. They fly about 40 yards. You can use them in your backyard if you've got limited space, etc. So I would very much go to birdieball.com, look at their products, and get some. They're not overly expensive, but they're a great practice facility. Tool, I should say. And speaking of Barb Trammell, here she comes. It's nice to see you again, Barb.
Thank you. You too.
I'm just going to read the pitch for the OGA while you're you should be familiar with that. The OGA golf course is the home course of the Oregon Golf Association, which is the home of amateur golf in the state. It's a Bill Robinson design. It's opened in 1993 in the community of Tukwila, and it weaves through the marsh and the marshland here. Let me help you. Okay, there you go. And it encompasses all the environments if that's a concern, but it's a very enjoyable course. It's kept in excellent condition. So if you're in the area, go to the OGAgolfcourse.com, book a tee time today. And lastly, today, my friends at Painted Hills Natural Beef, some of the best beef in the world. They are very conscientious about their practices and their stewardships, and it's great stuff. If you can't find it in your local markets, just go to paintedhillsnaturalbeef.com and get some. Barb Trammell is here. She's putting the lid on her water there. So you're in an official capacity this week, right?
Very unofficial.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. For the people listening, and it's they mostly see it on television, Barb, when they watch a tournament. Somebody will call for a ruling if they can get a drop or 2 club lengths, whatever, and do that. But there's always a lot more, I'm assuming, that goes on besides just what we see on the small screen. What's the average day of a tour official like on these tournaments, and like how many calls, how many rulings would you might have to make on it? Just average.
Yeah, it obviously it varies.
Sure.
From golf course to golf course, condition of the course, weather issues, that sort of thing.
Right.
Are the variable factors. But sort of the day, if you will, of a rules official starts way before the players show up. At least they're here at least an hour before the first tee time, and their day consists of doing the setup. One person or 2 different rules officials will set up. One will set up the front 9, one will set up the back 9 in terms of hole locations, tee positions on a daily basis. So those 2 will take off well ahead of play, and also make sure from a maintenance standpoint that everything's
good,
ready to go. Then it's basically, as you said, what you see on TV are people sort of in certain positions on the golf course. Hopefully one official is within 1 or 2 holes of every hole on the golf course to facilitate, expeditious handling of rulings. But, beyond rulings, and again, you can get anywhere from, 10, 12 calls a day to 50. For the entire staff. That's not for one person. But so it can be anything from, you have periods of time when really nothing's going on from a rule standpoint, and then periods of time that people are going every which way. I would say for the most part, though, their main function is monitoring pace of play. And that is constant throughout the day.
Sure.
Whether or not a group is getting warned, or they're on the clock, or they're just literally watching when a group puts the flagstick in the hole, what are they in relation to the time par? So it's really keeping track of the flow of groups through the golf course, and that's a constant thing. So you'll see them roaming around, going from one hole to the next, and really keeping track of what the pace of play is like.
Do they work with when you're talking about the folks, the setup folks? They also work on the stimp and help the course managers and stuff. What's stimp readings and that type of thing?
Yeah, and that's typically done advance week, the week before the tournament. There's one official that comes in a full week before the golf tournament, and he or she will be that liaison with the golf course superintendent and his or her staff to work on what they want the green speeds to be for tournament week. Because once you get to tournament week, obviously weather conditions, dictate a lot of what a green speed will be, but they kind of settle on what they want that green speed to be, and a lot of it's based on green undulations versus how flat a surface is, wind conditions that are expected. So there are a lot of variables that go into that. Once the tournament starts, then it's trying to maintain as best as possible that stimp meter reading that you want throughout the tournament week.
So sitting up in this catbird seat for last few days, which is really good because you get to see a lot of stuff up here that if you're on the ground, you don't get to see. Is it possible that stimp readings on it's a 4-day tournament, so you're going to have 4 different cup positions? Is the stimp the same? Let's just make a number 11. Okay, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Are they 11 across the whole green or just in the cup positions?
Well, you'll typically the stimp meter reading is typically done on the flattest portion of a green.
Okay.
So you don't want, obviously it's going to vary depending on what the whole location is. So, your goal may be for an 11, but that doesn't mean you're going to have 11 on every green, every whole location. There's too many variables.
Yes.
So the goal is what's that consistent read that you want as an average throughout the 4 days, throughout all of the greens on the golf course.
Sure.
But you're never going to get to where everything is going to be the same.
Not every
reading.
square inch is going to
absolutely
read like that.
Yeah, sure.
Let's talk about the average rulings on the course. We touched on it earlier, but what we see mostly is, can I get a drop? I have my stance is impaired, or my swing is whatever like that. Kind of like from top to, give us the top 3 or 4 from the most common at the top to lesser ones that you guys make decisions on during a tournament.
Yeah, it really, again, varies from course to course, but I would say for the most part, a lot of rulings involve players hitting into penalty areas, and they just want to make sure they know all their options, don't do anything wrong that might be caught on camera, and they find out about it otherwise. So those are kind of basic. And then it goes to probably those judgment calls that you were referring to. Someone's in a precarious position. They want relief from the lie that they have, or their stance is impeded by something. And those judgment calls are probably the most difficult ones that a rules official will have to make. Again, you take a lot of things into consideration. But really, when you think about it, the rules officials are the ones that really their main job is to ensure the integrity of the competition from week to week. You'll there was always a joke on tour, and I think it probably still is apropos that a player will say, I either got a good ruling or a bad ruling. It's not correct or incorrect. It's in their minds, if something went against them, it's bad. But again, the ensuring of the integrity of the competition, they're out there to protect the field, and to be consistent from one player to the next on their calls is of the utmost importance.
How much subjectivity is there? You might look at you might look at it and say, no, you can play that ball from there, and I might look at it and say, no, you get a free drop. Is there that amount of subjectivity? Again, I mean, you were just touching on it there, but I think that's a question a lot of people ask. And like you say, you get out, there's the press. They don't do it so much here, but the press conferences afterwards, and they say, well, I didn't get a ruling in my favor, or however they phrase it like that. But I've always, because I was an official in another industry for years, and part of that, a lot of objectivity in the rules.
Right.
But when you had to make the call and sign the card, so to speak, there was, a lot of subjectivity in that.
I think that's true in every sport. I mean, look at basketball these days. People they're saying that the officials are either too strict or not strict enough on their calls. That's where it really comes down to, again, thinking of protecting the integrity of the competition. It is somewhat subjective if you get one of these judgment calls where you are having to evaluate based on the lie, the circumstances surrounding the golf ball, maybe the objects in front of them. Can this player play the shot that she says she's going to play?
Right.
A lot of times it's quite obvious one way or the other. A lot of times it's not as obvious, and that's when they really earn their money. I mean, it's based on obviously the rule book and interpretations lay out a lot of examples where they refer back to. So there are a lot of times when you have a specific example that you can point to and say, obviously, unfortunately, the rules don't provide you relief in this particular instance.
The rule book isn't that thick, but the example books are pretty. It's like going to the Harvard Law Library. Like that. Tough calls. It's a big deal, but do you ever get the toughest call? Now, where I want to go with this, Barb, is the toughest call would be probably to assess a penalty on a player,
right?
Whether it's slow play or they saw something, somebody in TV caught it. Now we don't have where the viewers at home can call in anymore. That was getting crazy.
Yeah, it was.
But if there was a question and they quietly went up and said, they signed the wrong scorecard because she should have penalized herself 2 strokes, whatever, like that. Those have got to be the toughest calls to make.
Those are the ones, when you find out after the fact as a rules official, those are the ones that rip your heart out, particularly if you have to assess a penalty. No rules official lives to assess penalties.
Yeah, you didn't get up in the morning and say, I'm going to give this guy 5 strokes.
You would be amazed at the conversations that go over the radio between the officials when it's a tough situation. And the talk is always, can I get this player out of it? And when the combined discussion of the committee is, unfortunately, no, she violated this particular rule, then a penalty is assessed. No one wants to do that. And slow play, that's been a hot topic ever since I was out there and before, and it is today. And I know, people, viewers complain about pace of play, and it's true. The game has gotten slower. I will give credit to the LPGA, however. They have assessed penalties for slow play. And I would say even in the past few months, been a couple of players who have been in contention that have been assessed penalties. That is always difficult to do. But again, if the policy is laid out, and if they violate the policy, a penalty needs to be assessed. So kudos to them, because they have they have issued out penalties, more so, I would say, than the PGA Tour.
How long do they have? I mean, if you do they tell them mid-hole, say, ladies, speed it up? Or do they wait till the next tee box and tell them? And then how long do they have to try to catch up to the clock?
Well, the LPGA, every policy between the tours is different. The LPGA policy, if you're on the clock, is sort of a cumulative timing situation. It's not on a per shot basis.
Okay.
But from a standpoint of when you're monitoring pace of play, a group will be given a warning before they're ever put on the clock. And basically that warning is to say, your group's behind, you need to pick up the pace, do whatever you need to do to get back in position. Usually they're given a hole or two. It depends on the situation. Yeah. If the monitoring by the official of a group that has been given a warning, if the group shows no sign of even wanting to do anything to improve, they'll probably be put on the clock that next hole. But if they improve, if they're, say, they're 5 minutes behind the group in front, and then they play a hole, and all of a sudden now they're only 3 minutes. They picked up 2. They'll let them go if they're showing improvement
Yeah.
before they're actually put on the clock.
No, that's a good thing because, like you were referring to earlier, Barb, you guys don't get up in the morning and say, see how many guys, how many ladies I can kick off the course today.
Right.
It's not
Right.
that. It's they are earning a living. They're
Right.
the best athletes. You guys are the top rules officials. You've been trained from zero to infinity.
Yeah.
And, you also wanted a pleasant experience, and you wanted a pleasant experience for the fans, I would think.
Yeah, absolutely. When the players are out here, they're in their office. They're doing their job.
Mhm.
It's the same with the rules officials. They're in their office doing their job and doing it to the best of their ability. Again, goal of being just to protect the integrity of the competition.
So if anybody's listening to this, well, we have people listening, but and has a desire to become a rules official. I mean, I used to see that in my old profession because they didn't like the way the subjective calls were made, right? Because we scored them and we placed them, and that's who won. And they thought, I'll go get a card and do that. How long does it take to kind of go from 0 to 60 as a rules official? I mean, I'm assuming you would start like taking some seminars from the OGA or something and working up the ladder.
Yeah, absolutely. In terms of, it's hard to put a number on it, but it's years, not months.
Yes.
From that standpoint, to get to a tour officiating capacity. I would just encourage anybody who has the desire at all, yes, start out at your state and local level. Take a USGA, PGA Rules of Golf workshop is kind of the standard by which the officials are judged. There's an exam given at the end of the week. It's a very hard exam. It wouldn't be the first go around. I would say start out again studying, reading as much as you can read, maybe taking some tips from someone who maybe is out there from an OGA standpoint or from a USGA standpoint. Get some tips from them, and then it's just experience. As you say, start out at your local or state level, get some experience, and then work your way up.
It's got to be, I would think. I remember the first time I ever judged a horse show. I was very young, but I was nervous.
Oh, sure.
Because you feel like the whole world is looking at you. I would assume that when you walk onto a golf course or drive on in a cart, I do notice that not too many rules officials do a lot of walking. They do a lot of driving. Yeah. But you got to feel some real pressure on that because, you may have passed the test at 100% or 99%, but that's always different than actually interacting with a human being and something's on the line.
It is. I mean, you obviously you try not to think about that when you get called in. Because I mean, there are times when you're making a ruling for someone who maybe is going to miss the cut, and it's not that consequential, versus time when someone's in contention.
Yeah,
you can't have that in your head. You're literally going by the book. You take each situation as it comes and make the ruling from there. But it is. I mean, when I first came out, I was told kind of from an officiating standpoint, it's hours of boredom followed by moments of sheer terror.
That is a very good definition.
And that's pretty much as it is.
Yeah.
I mean, you can sit out there and nothing's going on for an hour, and all of a sudden you get a call, and it's just like, oh my gosh, what am I driving into? That goes through your mind. You want to be prepared, but you really don't know what you're walking into.
No, it's a tough job. I mean, I've always empathized with people that were in an officiating capacity. It didn't matter the sport, but now that I've got very, my world is entangled in golf, if you will, which is a good thing. But I give them a lot of credence and a lot of deference because I've been in another world, but I've been in those tough spots to make those decisions.
Well, it's pretty much thankless. I mean, when you think about it, but they perform a very important function, and the competition couldn't exist without them.
I will tell you this, folks. They will remember who won this tournament, but they will not remember who the head rules official is.
That is true.
I can tell you that for a fact. So are you, on a personal note, are
Yeah.
you going to officiate anymore? Are you going to be an official? Or are you just,
No, I've been out of it for so long that
Yeah.
I'm really not up on my game in terms of being able to be out there. You really have to do it on a day in, day
Yeah.
in basis to keep fresh. And
Yeah.
so when I got the job with the OGA, I sort of, officiating took a back seat.
Sure.
And I had obviously other things to think about and do in my role with the OGA. But it's always been, it's what started me in
Yeah.
terms of coming up through golf administration. So it always has a soft place in my heart.
Well, you did some great tournaments. You worked at the Masters. You worked across the pond. You did a lot of tournaments, and specifically a lot of LPGA tournaments,
Sure.
the USGA stuff, and all that. So you have a very exemplary career in rules officials.
I did. I was very fortunate, very grateful for the opportunities that I had, and the best part about it was meeting the people. Yeah,
Sure.
People all over the world, in a sense that you formed great relationships once, and you might only see them once a year,
Yeah.
but it's kind of this little family that has a lot in common. So I've
Absolutely.
been very grateful.
Barb, it is so good to see you again.
Thank you, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's always good to talk to Barb. Enjoy the rest of the day.
I will.
It's going to be
You
a beautiful finish.
It should be a
today.
great finish, great
Yeah.
leaderboard.
Yeah, we
Looking
do.
forward to it.
I think we've got Amy coming back to wrap up the show. This is our last live show for this tournament. So Barb was very gracious and spent some good time with us here. Of course, I've always enjoyed talking to her. But we'll get Amy over here. Thanks again, Barb. She'll be up in just a minute. Here we go. This is the lady who makes the standard sponsorship possible here for this tournament. So I thought it would be appropriate if we closed out our broadcast session. Here, let me help you. Just a second. There we go. There we go. Yeah, Amy, how are you?
I'm good. How are
Long
you?
time no see.
Yeah, it's been days.
So we're getting down to the end here. There's only a couple hours left of the tournament. And tell me what you think.
I think it's been amazing. I went home yesterday evening and watched the coverage because I'm here all day and then I go home and I watch it all evening. And it looked like a Sunday on Saturday. I just thought it was amazing to watch. And today is not going to disappoint. Got such a tight leaderboard. Our two leaders are going like this. It's great.
It's all good.
Yeah.
So are you just tell straight? You're happy with the standards commitment to this tournament?
So happy.
Good.
So happy. Yeah, it's a great fit.
We're happy too. Everybody likes to be happy.
That's right.
But I'm very tickled that the standard through your leadership has come to support and really be a foundation for this tournament like that.
Thank you.
Do you walk around with a list and go, "Oh, we need to do this better, or we could do that better"?
Sure. I mean, we're always tweaking. I think the tournament directors, so the folks at Little Bird, Lynn Clary, Monica Olson, and I kind of move through and we say, oh, you know what? Next year, the seats on one are a great example of how could we make that better? How could we keep improving the experience around 18? And I think that was a win. And I'm sure we'll keep seeing those things.
Oh, you will.
As we move forward. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's just improved so much since you kind of came on board that it's really good. Look into the camera. This camera right here. See, right there. And other senior management people in other companies, what would you recommend and why would you recommend that they get involved in the standard Portland Classic or any LPGA tournament if they're watching this in Texas or someplace?
Sure. I think I'd say you get involved if it's right for you. So this is such a great cultural fit for the standard. It's a great fit for connection to the community. It's a great fit for employee engagement. Those are two of the biggest things that we use it for. I think the other thing with the LPGA in particular, if you're actually talking about getting involved in the LPGA, is as a title sponsor, you've got the ability to go and participate in pro-ams at all of the other LPGA tournaments around the country. So if you're a national company or you sell things nationally, it's a way to relationship build around the country.
Might have to talk to you about getting a position in one of those pro-am teams
Yeah.
one of these days.
Let's chat about it.
We can do that. That's going to wrap it up for us here, folks. It's been a great week for us here. It's been beautiful weather, and the tournament isn't over, and we're going to stream some more stuff for you as it becomes available and the tournament winds down. And we will have Rod Hill, I think, later too, local phenom weatherman like that. But for Amy and I want to thank you. Thank you for your support for this podcast, and for Pete and all the people that helped us. Hope you enjoyed the shows. And go out, play some golf, have some fun, but most of all, be kind. Take care, everybody.